Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to, I don't even know what we're calling this show. Just, wake up with High Top Sports, boys. We're going to talk all things college football. Got some great article came out from Zach Alberverdi talking about the pettiness, is what I'm calling it, from Billy Napier. I mean, where has this juice of information been, boys and girls? Joey McGuire, does he drop a little nugget on 3 with J.D. Pickle? I think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll dive into it. The SEC's most valuable team. Which team has spent the most moolah, baby, on their roster this year? Which team is most likely to crash the playoffs? And who's winning the SEC? Can we see a new face crowned as SEC champion this year? One we haven't seen in either ever or quite some time? We'll talk about it. Cody the Professor joins us, ladies and gentlemen. Codes, how you doing, big guy?
Oh, pretty good. Good to be back on the OG song, man.
You know what I mean? We kept getting hit with copyright on the other ones, so I don't for no reason we shouldn't have. But sometimes you got to just go back into the back. You know what I mean? Just if it's broke, fix it. Yeah. Hopefully somebody can maybe take some advice on that one, boys. J Mac says, who's thinking we finally find an answer on offense this weekend? It feels like we should. It feels like it should be like it just.
That thing's about to bust.
I'm about to bust. Bro, my favorite meme. Oh my god!
Should this be High Top After Dark?
Yeah, I know. It's High Top. Yeah, for you it is. For you it is. I love it. I love it. I love the Shane Gillis one. Where he says a bad word, but morning show. Can't be doing that. Because bro, you trying to make me bust?
21 million. Oh, somebody spent some.
What's 21 million?
What Q Lee said. Oh, 21 million for the buyout. Yeah, that's good money.
Well, that's money. Kyle, all right. Welcome to the High Top family, man. Just became a member. Good stuff, man. Welcome to the fam. Happy to have you here. Look, before we get into the other topics you see on the side here, let's get into. I want to play this clip from Joey McGuire because, again, I don't know if it was kind of like just a play on words or if it was legitimate, but I think
Show me the money.
Basically.
Is that Jerry Maguire?
That's Jerry Maguire.
Great movie.
There you go. Oh, you can't hear it.
Just want to tell everybody he's under a 2-year contract, so you're wasting your time trying to tamper with him. We were smart enough to know that when Barron left, we had our quarterback in waiting and ready to go. He's a redshirt freshman, and so we'll get him for at least 2 to 3 years. If he keeps playing like this, and we'll probably only have him for 2 years, after this. But, the thing I just think Will understands. I mean, you played, so you get this. And a lot of guys in that office that are around you played. Like, there's times in your life, this is your role. You don't have to accept your role from the standpoint of not wanting more, but you do have to accept your role that when it's time for your number to be called, you got to be ready to go. So many people can't do that because they get frustrated because they want so much more and they can't accept their role on the team. So they're not ready when they're called upon. That's the great thing about Will Hammond. He knows exactly who he is. He knows whenever he's called upon, then it's time to go.
So two great things to this. The last half of it there where he talks about, understanding your role, understanding that things are going to take time, respect that you are the backup and let it come to you and be ready to go. And that is definitely an issue in this. It feels like it's an issue anyways in this day and age of where nobody will allow things to unfold. I think there are some kids and I think we're seeing a transition. I think that it's not as bad as we may think that it appears, where people are willing to wait and trust the process. In the same time, some people probably wait too long. So there's back and forth to it. But him opening up that line saying, I just want everybody to know that Will Hammond, who we saw came in during that Utah game and looked absolutely electric, stepping in for Brendan Morton, who I think took a concussion hit. The guy got beat up during that game, so it was a couple of hits that he took. I think it was the head hit that took him out of the game because he also got hit like in the shoulder or the side. And Will Hammond came in. Bro, Will Hammond came in the first time, and I thought this guy was going to just march his team on the football field. And he just handed it off, like smacking football helmets, fire up. But the kid looked exceptional. I wanted to puke because I'm like, this kid's a true freshman looking like he's been playing for 4 years of college football in a hostile environment with the game on the line. Like, they weren't up when he came in. He won the football game. Like, no question about it. And so, look, he said, hey, I want to tell everybody he's under a 2-year contract. The reason why I think that it's true, like, there's actually some legitimacy here. He's not just saying this, like almost like a play on words of like, hey, back off, like you can't touch him. No, I think he's being for real. Given how much success they've had in the portal, in the Felix Ocho contract, like we've been talking about this of like, how do you lock these guys in? How do you guarantee these guys in? And I've been wanting to talk about it anyways. I think we've kind of dabbled into it on how the GM for Texas Tech has really owned this process and is dominating how this landscape is moving because of what we've seen thus far. And this is just one more thing, one more icing on the cake of like, they have seemed to figure it out off the football field at another level. And now it's coming together on the football field. Like this, we're going to talk about, playoff crashers. They're not necessarily a group of 5, but I would say in the lower echelon of Power 4 teams that are a playoff crasher in the sense that Texas Tech and playoffs usually don't go hand in hand.
Well, I hope we did that with our roster this year. I know we signed about 98% of the roster, but I hope it was to a 2-year contract just in case things go bad. Can't leave.
And I that's what my question, right? You think about that is
maybe the guys didn't want to sign a 2-year contract and didn't want to be locked in, the guys that actually left.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think like that would look, if you're the GM for the Florida Gators or any school, you've got to start thinking like that because now you can protect a really good roster. Like you can kind of get into that Zook Urban era where it's like, hey, we may see, like if I'm a GM, it's like, hey, our coach, there's just the rumor of Hugh Freeze not going to be there on site. Have you seen that thing pop up? I'm getting a little off. We'll get to that in just a minute because that's like a fun little good Wednesday morning topic. But if I'm the GM and I know my coach has the potential of not being here, I would say you need to navigate that roster with that in mind. Now, not saying the kid will respond to that and say, hey, no, because I don't know if my coach will be here, so I don't want to take that leap. And then so you work as needed, but at the same breath, like now again, I don't know if a new coach comes in, does that affect the contract? Those are things that are obviously up for grabs, but you wonder. And when this GM hire was put into place for the Florida Gators and all teams, it's supposed to be a separate entity. Like they should probably, I would say, have a voice in whether or not the coach stays or goes. Very similar to the NFL. Like sometimes they're a package deal, sometimes they're separate. It all just depends.
But most of the time, they're not a package. I've seen multiple GMs go through multiple coaches.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually with player evaluation and what they have constructed the cap with is what really affects GMs. Obviously, if you're not winning, that obviously doesn't help. But usually GMs get a little bit more leeway with the coaching. They're usually not attached to the hip. They're actually usually signed a year separate contract. So like they'll get a 5-year and the coach will get a 4-year. That makes sense. So
yeah.
So that GM will be there no matter what. You really don't want to turn over the whole thing. I think our GM's probably doing fine. I don't know. We got a pretty good roster for the amount of money that we paid. I think
we're gonna get into that money too. And it's a good point. Yeah.
We'll get into that here in a second. I think he's done a fantastic job. Is there spots in the trenches that I wish he would have beefed up a little bit more? Yeah, but that's also recruiting. This isn't just the NFL where they have to draft them. They have to come to you, or this is like free agency all the time. So I would say that the GM would stay. If Billy Napier was fired,
I don't see him going anywhere. No. I'm just saying that would he have a say in him being like go more so? I don't think he goes anywhere.
But if he's writing the contracts, I would assume the guy's been around football long enough. He knows He can smell it in the air. I would assume that he signed guys to 2 years if that's possible.
I mean, look, the way that people are talking doesn't seem that way. But it again, I
They don't
wonder.
know.
But I
Nobody
wonder
knows
if
the
the coach
contracts.
being let go plays a factor into that. I think it would. I think that it would negate the
I
contract.
think as an operation, no, as an operation, if I'm the GM, as an operational standard, I'm making sure that there's a no transfer clause if Billy gets fired.
Yeah, but in the same
100%
breath, if
making
you're, I guess it's the same thing for the NFL, because I was saying, like, if you're a coach, do you want to acquire that roster? It's the same thing in the NFL.
It's a dang good one.
Well, this one in particular, yes. I'm just saying in general, would you want to acquire is what I was getting at.
Well, they can navigate that when they get the new coaching hire, and he can bring in who he wants. But I think as of right now, if I'm the GM and knowing that Napier was on the hot seat, I'm signing those kids to 2 years with a no transfer clause if hired.
No,
That's
I
what
agree.
I'm doing.
I agree.
If
I
you don't
couldn't
like
agree
it,
more.
go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that, look, we'll pay you. Like, obviously, like
And people don't know is the thing. People don't have a clue because we don't know how much any of these.
Yeah,
There's only 2 people that know.
And I think with what Texas Tech is doing, like they're not afraid to throw the extra cheddar, that they're able to probably get away with, like, and I say get away with, but hey, we're going to pay an extra $500,000, but you're also going to be locked in. You're not going to. I'm not playing these games with you. But we also have the power to kick you off, maybe, if they want to. I don't know. 2 things. One, this Hugh Freeze thing is kind of weird. I didn't think to take anything of it. Then I've seen a couple of posts about it, which is like, look, these are always, Twitter rumors are wild. I don't think anything comes of it, but they're fun to watch. And, dude, the Dallas Cowboy doc. Wow. I watched one episode last night, and I am fired up.
Hooked. I told you it was good.
I mean, the production value on it is through the roof, first of all.
It's Jerry Jones.
But Jerry, bro, I only know of Jerry Jones of like what we see of Jerry Jones from day to day. Like I didn't.
Jerry Jones
dog, bro, dog. I mean, how do you not have respect for that guy at this point? Like the fact, like when he traded Parkinson and handled that situation the way that he did, I was like, this guy's a moron. No, guys, just look. When you've been doing it for as long as he have, and
he's done it before. He's done it before,
bro. I didn't realize. Again, I don't know the history of Dallas Cowboys. How he walked into that stadium and just completely just lit that thing on fire. It's crazy watching, and it made me think of the Florida Gators. How I can't think of the former coach at this moment. The Dallas Cowboy coach, I was there for like 29 years, won a couple Super Bowls. Like they were in such, it was like Iowa.
Landry,
yeah. It was like Iowa. Like we were at the point of content. Like we suck, but we're okay with it because we love the guy to death. Like nobody from beat writers to Skip Bayless was in there, which is cool to see. Young Skip Bayless. The fans, the people of Dallas, like the guy got a parade for being fired. Like this, I didn't do wild things that I didn't even know of. And Jerry Jones just in a corner by himself with $1 billion in his pocket, and Jimmy Johnson and Michael Irvin. I haven't seen any more. It's where I'm at right now, so don't tell me. But I know know how it ends. Right, so I know that he comes back.
What they call it, the Monday Night Massacre or something like that.
Yeah,
just went in there, fired the staff.
Bro, who's gonna be the GM? He goes, I want that guy's job.
Yeah,
bro, talk about getting fired mid presser. You've never met this boss in your life, and he's like, I want your job, and the guy's like, bro, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. It was really, really cool to watch. Really cool to watch. But yeah, do you think this Hugh Freeze stuff has got some smoke behind it? Like, what's going on here?
Well, you know what we say: if there's smoke, there's really a little bit of a tinderbox of fire.
What are you seeing? Let's see where the rumors are at. Let's see if we're seeing the same stuff.
I'm saying he's getting. I saw that he's not going to make it out of the bye week,
which is this week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to.
They've spent too much. They've spent too much money on the roster. They're not happy with what's going on offensively. I mean they're not 0-5.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I mean, the start hasn't been great. They've got 2 tough losses, but
who do you go get?
I mean, this was the same question for Florida. Go where you
No,
want.
it's
You're
not.
Auburn.
Think they bring Gruden in?
No,
That feels like an Auburn hire.
I should have Jake. Let me hit up Jake real quick midstream, and let's see if we can get him back. Let's see if I can get him to respond back before the show's over. That'd be
We'll
fun.
side note that. We'll side note that.
Yeah, we'll sidebar it. Yeah. Well, it'll be like one of those like the hooks that keeps you locked in for their whole show. Like, is Jake gonna respond? He's usually pretty good about responding.
170 strong, hanging out with us Monday morning.
I said, yo, this Hugh Freeze smoke got some legs. Now we wait. He's usually pretty good about getting back.
He would know too. He would know.
100%. 100%. He's pretty dialed in with a lot of different stuff.
All right, let's
So,
get to the
all right.
money.
Yeah,
Show me the
170
money,
strong,
babe.
boys and girls. Happy to have you here on this beautiful Wednesday morning show. Listen, just so you guys are aware, if you're new to this, Cody and I discussed, our schedules are aligned at this very moment for the next couple of weeks that we could do a morning show every day. So you can wake up with the boys. And they're like, these shows are very, they're not as structured. I mean, yesterday we were putting together a president campaign. So you don't know what's going to come. Pause. But the expectations of the show is very. Cody's drinking at 9:30 a.m. Okay, so I just want to make sure everyone's aware of the ebbs and flows of where this show can go. All right, so
Let's hold on for a second.
I'm gonna.
I want to hurt the presidency. Run. It's 9:30 p.m. my time. Okay, boys. It's 9:30 p.m. my time. We can't be. People be thinking that I'm just getting sauced all the time. Okay.
I love that yesterday you go, I'm not an alcoholic. We're 2 days in a row of Cody drinking a scoot drive at 9:30 in the morning.
I don't drink in front of the bus anymore because we had a little issue last year.
The goalpost keeps moving. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't drink every day. Oh, listen, I don't drink in front of the kids. Listen, okay, well they're right in front. I don't drink at the school anymore. Okay, I'm getting better. I'm making progress.
It's vodka also, so you can't smell it on me.
Oh man. Oh brother, I love it. Hell, it's 9 p.m. Where are you? His schedule is flopped. He works nights, so his morning, like he just got off work. So he's about to go to bed and then he'll sleep till like 5 or 8.
Everybody's like so confused.
I know.
We're 10 at night to 6:30 in the morning.
I love it. All right, let's talk about this SEC roster real quick.
Yeah, show me the money, babe.
Yeah, look at this. Oh, that's playoff stuff I want to talk about here in just a minute.
Playoff.
The most expensive roster according to On3, which is couple of things that I mean that I notice off rip is Mississippi State sitting at $5 million and Vanderbilt at $4 million, and we know how they look. And Ole Miss at $8.9 million. And again, this is where for me, right? Because eventually that $8.9 million will catch you. I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong. I think that you probably need an extra couple million, and not that Florida. I mean, look, I say this, and then I mean honestly, what's another 1.2? Because for Florida, being under Mizzou, I mean everyone else makes sense. I'm not gonna lie. I mean Texas A&M, we know they spend money. Being under Oklahoma, kind of, I would say hurts. Being under Auburn, I would say we should be in that 12.8 echelon, in my opinion.
Texas A&M kind of surprises me.
It's Jerry Jones money.
I know. Why aren't they hires?
Oh. Because they're trying to pay. They're still paying a buyout of $90 million.
Oh, yeah.
So got some money you gotta push to the side here.
Tied up. Yeah.
But look, if you're Lane, you got to look at this list and realize, like, again, this is what I think we've always argue. Where it should be. I really wonder how much truth to the matter of this is for Florida, anyways, because I know they had Lagway set at like 1.2 or something like that. And again, I'm not saying that it's not right or wrong, but I do know that the network agency do a really good job of keeping their contracts under wrap. And so I wonder how much of information they actually have on that. Like, I don't think they're calling the GM and he's like, yeah, here's our payroll. I just don't see that happening. And I do think that Florida has done a really good job of NIL deals, which probably doesn't correlate to this. But look, if you're LSU, that was one that really caught my eye personally. Good.
If you really wanted to get into the weeds, definitely find out what everybody's probably pretty close to making. Because I'm sure all these kids are under LLCs, getting paid under LLCs. LLCs are public, therefore you could find out how much they made on their tax return, file taxes.
Oh, true. So
Like DJ Lagway isn't just getting paid DJ Lagway. It's DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
LLC. See what I'm saying?
But that's all public knowledge, though. So
yeah,
they'd be able to pull it that way.
They're probably pretty. I mean, they're probably pretty close. Can we talk about this? $10.4 million. Texas paid $19 million, and they're not that good. 16.5 for LSU. They're not that good.
Yeah, that's where I was.
You spent $9 million more, and you're not that good. You're not leaps and bounds above all these other teams.
I mean, $10 million. You're thinking that's like that's 10 more 5-stars you should essentially have on the football field flying around, to where you were just light years ahead. Again, come Saturday, I don't feel like last year when we played Texas was, in my opinion, the only game that Florida played that I felt we didn't have a flying chance last year. Like, I was like, this team's going to roll us. This year, I don't feel that way at all. Like, at all. I feel more confident about this game than any game on our schedule remaining outside of Kentucky. Like, genuinely. Mississippi State, I don't have enough information yet.
I think the only team I wouldn't want to play right now is Alabama.
Yeah, they've got a little click right now. Yeah. They look, in a weird way, they are kind of similar to Ohio State. Losing that Michigan game, they just lost that game first. Like a switch just flipped on. And again, we know their roster is talented. This is why a lot of people picked Alabama to win the national championship. I had my doubts. We saw it week 1, but something's flipped for them. Still got a long way to go, but it doesn't look too daunting for them at this very moment. But yeah, LSU, look, if Auburn is spending at 12.3 and they've lost 2 games, and we know the noise that's there. Again, the history of Hughes also plays a factor into this, but they're spending money on this roster. I think that 12 to 14 is probably where things should be. I think LSU and Texas are overspending personally. I think at that point, you're flexing your muscles. If you're in that 14 range, I think you can be competitive. I think if you're at that 10 to 11, you can get through it with good coaching, like Mizzou. You see what I did there? There's a team also that is not there with bad coaching. But LSU spending $4 more million than Auburn, and I know they only lost 1 game, but they have not looked good through any of their games, and I see them losing a couple more. Could that lead to Brian Kelly getting the boot this year? We've talked about that. Even though they've won 9-10 games every year since he's been here, I don't think they've won less than 8 games. There's some question marks. I mean, again, you're putting a lot of investment. You want a return. You're not going to get it at this rate.
I also think that it'll be interesting to see some of these teams kind of correlate and slide by how close they are to making a playoff or making a big playoff run. So, like, Old Miss last year, I bet was higher on this list because it was Jackson Darts last year. They had some very, very good players on the whole defensive line. Yeah, you loaded up, right? You had to load up to get to make that push. Obviously, it came short. Now this year, obviously they knew they were coming in with Austin Simmons, so maybe not spend that much. Maybe hold some of that roster money back, and you can load him up in his junior year to go make a run. It'll be interesting if this is a format that we're going to run on. How many of these teams kind of flip flop year to year, right? On their success or on their success of what they think they're going to have quarterback wise, because it all revolves around the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point on the Ole Miss thing of understanding where you were from a roster perspective, and now that they'd be kind of kicking themselves with how well Trinidad has been playing. Of like, well, maybe we should have, because they weren't as aggressive in the portal this year. I mean, they weren't nowhere near where they were a year prior, and it was kind of weird. You know, I wondered why, because sure, you had your guy in Jackson Dart and great quarterback, and you wanted to, but they went and got, you know, running backs, defensive linemen, and they still did those things, not to the same level. And maybe they felt that the talent wasn't there and they felt confident in who they had. I don't know. I don't know where their mindset was. But I mean, right now, if you're Ole Miss, and you're looking at Lane Kiffin, and the noise is there. Everybody's talking about it. And now, what I was saying a year and a half ago, people are starting to pick up. I'm always just first to the party, and I have to wait for everyone else to show up. But I was saying that Ole Miss job is not as bad as what people were trying to portray it as. Because everyone's like, hey, the Florida place is a big opportunity. It is. I'm not saying that it's not. But in this new age of college football, you can kind of make a home anywhere. Like, that's what's changed everything. It has. I mean, I think people are having a hard time digest that. But if you can recruit to Ole Miss now more than you could have in the past, that's just a fact. If Missouri can be competitive, look at all the schools that are up there that we would have looked. I mean, Texas A&M hasn't been a powerhouse since they've been in the SEC. It's always been a name, but not like a team that you were fearful of. And now all of a sudden, look where they're at. So now Texas A&M, in my opinion, is got much more rich history, and I think it's a little bit easier to recruit to. And I think but Lane Kiffin. Now I do believe if Lane leaves Ole Miss, that aura leaves with it. A&M has a logo by itself that can carry on its tradition throughout coaches. Ole Miss is not there yet, in my opinion. It's definitely Lane Kiffin carrying that thing, carrying that torch. So that just depends on if he wants to continue to build on that torch and rock and roll. A lot of things will play up, but interesting little chart. Money's always a fun topic of conversation, especially since we were just talking about it moments ago. Real quick, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. We got some Thursday night football tomorrow. I figured I'd get in on the action. Told you, I'm changing my game plans here, okay? They offer the new Flex Play, which allows for you, basically, I'm doing 4, right? So if I get 3 of the 4 right, I get some of my money back. I'm not just completely laying. Now, I don't get the full payout if I get all 4, right? Because there is a little bit of risk involved, but I've missed 1 the last 2. So I was like, I'm tired of getting kicked in the nards here, and I'm going to play it. This game, Rams and Niners, usually is a dogfight. I hate this NFC matchup because both teams usually are very explosive in their own right, but then they come play together each other, and it's like 13-10. So this one might bite me in the booty. But I took Christian McCaffrey for more than 15.5 rushing yards. Devontae Adams has been an absolute touchdown fiend. I know it because I have him in fantasy football. The reason I picked him, he's like Calvin Johnson for Matty Stat. Like, let that sink in. So I like that. Kyrie Williams, I took the fantasy point route to have more than 13.5 fantasy points. Basically, the guy's a touchdown magnet as well. So I was like, I think he'll probably get 60 to 7 yards and a touchdown. And maybe a few catches, and we're there. Then Matty Stat, I adjusted the line to have more than 209 passing. I think this had it for like 236. But again, this game typically gets into a dogfight. And so, but I still see him just slinging the rock up. Puka Nacua has been doing really well too. So get in on that action. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 players. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Download the app today and use code HIGHTOP to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HIGHTOP to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks is good to be right, baby. Good stuff. All right, let's get into the pettiness of Billy Napier. Did you see this, Cody?
No.
You didn't see this?
No.
I mean, you better buckle up. You better buckle up.
Not going to be happy. Am I about to go on a rager here?
It's a juicy one. Zach and I have already put together a great article, and it's an interesting one. I wonder why we waited until now. I mean, I guess it fits now because of all the question marks. I think it's great journalism, to be quite honest with you. I see a lot of people kind of get flack of people these guys asking the same questions, and it's like, look, we're in a rut right now. There isn't much to ask about because the thing's broken. Like we're looking at a broken down car, and we know what the issue is, and the main mechanic refuses to address that. He wants to think that it's everything else, and we're all in the conclusion that, like, no, dude, it's just the starter's broken. We just need to fix the starter.
Yeah,
and he's
doesn't
like,
need a relay. It doesn't need the wiring checked.
No,
it doesn't need a battery.
We've all checked it ourselves. We're good. It's like, and so now we have to get creative of It's like talking to a toddler. Like, how can I word this to where they go, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Or like, yeah, maybe I should check the starter. And that's kind of where we're at. But anyways, he wrote this. I mean, to pull forward, I pulled a couple clips, pulled a couple things from it here.
Zach Alberti, he works for UF, correct?
No, no, on 3. Zach Alberti comes on the show, bro. He's on 3.
I know. Doesn't he do a writing class at UF?
Oh, he may.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you don't have to yell. All right, so we know the history of. We know that he being Napier was a wide receiver coach at Alabama. We know he coached at Clemson. He was an OC for a year, then got fired. After that, getting fired, that's when he went to Alabama to be the wide receiver coach. Well, while he was there, right? Oh, so then he went to he followed Jim McElwain to Colorado State in 2012, which is interesting. I didn't know that he coached with Jim McElwain, which makes me even more.
Why did we hire this guy?
Yeah. And so then after the 2013 season, Saban replaced Alabama offensive coordinator with Doug Nussmeier with Lane Kiffin, who had just been terminated at USC. 2 years later, he added Sarkisian to his Alabama staff as an offensive analyst following his firing from the Trojans. When Florida Atlantic hired Kiffin in December 2016, Napier, who had been there now for 3 years as wide receiver coach, who had a stint at calling plays, wanted to take over as the offensive coordinator after 4 years on Alabama staff. Okay, 4 years, excuse me. Saban instead promoted Sarkisian, who also calls his own plays. Okay, right, currently at Texas.
Okay,
who served at OC against Clemson in the title game with Kiffin out. You can only imagine how bad Napier wanted to call plays on that stage against his former boss who fired him. So now, after that, Napier leaves. Napier left to become the OC at Arizona State for Todd Graham, not Grantham, Graham, in 2017. And Graham revealed how Napier felt about it in a 2017 interview on CBS. I think Billy was pissed because he was passed over at Alabama for Steve Sarkisian and all that. I have an update from Jake, by the way. This is the greatest show ever.
I'll wait till the end of the show.
This is the greatest show ever.
231 hanging out with us.
Napier had success in his lone year at Arizona State, mostly notable ranking number 9 nationally in red zone touchdown percentages and number 3 in third down offense. Man, well, that'd be nice. His unit ranked in the top 50 in scoring offense, and then that's what ultimately landed him getting the job at Louisiana and has been calling plays ever since. I think this just makes me more irritated. It opens up a whole new can of worms of, and again, this is something that I think that really, I would say frustrates me that we've talked about accountability, about how you manage yourself and navigate yourself. This feels like it's a petty play that I want to prove. Sorry?
You took your ball and you went home.
Not even that. I would say, no, like you have a chip on your shoulder and you're playing for the wrong reasons. You're coaching to say that I can do it. And again, for someone who's, I don't want to go that route, but it's the pride before the fall. That is what's happening here. And there was actually a great, you know what? This is actually perfect. I saw a clip last night because this is exactly what this man was preaching. You know how Napier has people that comes to the events to talk, right?
Yeah.
He had a guy, and I saw this clip. I was like, man, this is the stuff that I do love, like seeing these clips. And this guy talks about the pride before the fall, but he actually goes into a more elaborate description of that, which in my opinion was better. Take a listen.
You probably have heard the phrase, pride comes before the, pride comes before the, pride comes before the, pride comes before the scripture actually says pride comes before destruction. It's not a fall. A fall ain't that bad. Yeah, you fall all the time. Yeah, pride comes before the fall. All right, well, I guess we fall and then what? We just get back up. No, the scripture says pride comes before destruction. A haughty spirit comes before a fall. If I told you that if you got on a plane and you were headed to California but the place was destroyed, you wouldn't get on the plane. But if I told you we were going to get on a plane and go to California and you might fall, you would say no big deal. And so if I'm you, I'm looking at my life and I'm looking at my circle and say, do I have some people that can challenge me enough to keep me humble? Humble enough to know when I'm out of bounds and humble enough to know when I need to step it up when I'm not giving my best, because I don't want to be a person that walks around with a lot of pride, not because I could fall, but because pride can destroy everything you hold dear.
So, phenomenal clip.
Well, and did you see the small 30-second video of Billy Napier talking about somebody having a kid?
Yeah. Great clip.
Great clip. But does not practice what he preaches.
Well, look, I mean, I think that the young man, I don't know his name, was actually talking to Napier. I don't think he was talking to the players. And I loved it because we've always heard pride before the fall. But this isn't a fall, like he said. I think he described it perfectly of like, hey, you could get back up when you fall. And maybe you had a little bit of falls the first year and second year. It's now led to destruction. You are destructing the team, yourself, your career because of your pride. Because of an incident that happened 8 years ago, when in reality, 8 years should show you that, hey, maybe Saban had a point. Maybe Saban was right not to put me. Maybe I wasn't ready. The same thing you preach now about certain guys not being ready to take the helm, about certain guys not being developed enough, or, everything's not up right on the top of their head to take over. You do the same thing that Napier did to you. And I get being mad about it. I get leaving and going to Arizona State to go, no, Dad, I can do it. I love that. I think there is a part of that works. And you showed you could do it. You went and landed a head coaching job. You even went to the next level and landed yourself one of the best coaching jobs in the country at Florida Gators. You've already proved everybody. Nobody cares that you can call plays or can't call plays. If you go and hand the thing off and go win a national championship, that's more impressive than you calling the plays and win a national championship, because you were able to put the pride aside. The fact that you had this guy here preaching that, you got to be listened to, bro. You're not above it. You're sitting in the crowd. You brought this guy in. And again, that's what really is starting to irritate me. And again, we're all speculating. I understand that. But the one thing that we have is 4 years of data to show that no, it's not speculation anymore. Because there's been multiple people that have said that, hey, you were encouraged to go and get an offensive coordinator. It didn't align with your values. It didn't align with what you wanted to do. So you said no. You doubled down even more that, hey, this person can't do it better than I can. Well, it's proven me wrong once again. Once again.
Yeah, it's time for Billy Napier, if he wants to run his program like that and be like that and talk about scripture. It's time, Billy. It's time for you to quit. Get past the story of David versus Goliath. I'm tired of you thinking you're David and you need to prove everybody.
Yeah.
You're over that, bro. That's one story. There's multiple stories. They're trying to lay it out to you and you don't listen. You're hard-headed.
Yeah. No,
you're everything. You do not practice anything that you preach. You talk about selfishness, how selfish you are before you are a father. Men are the most selfish people in the world before their fathers. And then there'll be two bananas sitting there, and one will look really good, and one will kind of look not great, bruised up, brown, and your little toddler runs up, Daddy Nana, you're going to give him the good Nana, and you're going to eat the shitty Nana, okay?
Speak for yourself.
But you know what?
Billy
Napier ain't eating the shitty Nana. He's saying there ain't no Nanas left. He's going to throw the shitty Nana away and eat the good Nana himself. Like, dude, it's time to change.
The Nana analogy. We're on a roll here, boys. I love it. Yeah, look, I mean, again, it was just an article just to fuel the fire. I figure it was a great Wednesday morning topic, but good stuff. Couple super chats here. $5 from Kyle Wright. AA membership for Cody. Colorado fits right in. He just became a member. He's already part of the boys. Yeah, Anthony Roberts at $2. Lynn will get the spending amount higher. I agree. I think that Billy has chosen to keep the money that low too for Florida. Darian Boston, $10. What's up, fellas? Go Gators. I'm in the second year of coaching high school football, and I'm 100% positive I could call an offense better than Billy. Go Gators. # go Jesset. Wait a minute. That's Will Griffin's school.
Jesset?
Yeah.
It is.
You coaching Will?
If it's the same Jesset.
Oh, good point. I mean, I've never heard have another one.
I mean, you know how many Morgantowns there are in the United States? I'm sure there's a couple more Jessup high schools than one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Smash the like button, boys. We got 250 strong in here on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I keep thinking it's Monday because that's usually when we shoot the show. But yeah, a little revenge tour for Billy. We'll see. Look, he's here now. That's what we can do about it. But these are just things that the other part that I like that they said about, you know, keeping people around you. And I talk about this all the time, that hold you accountable, that aren't afraid to tell you like, hey, this isn't like, dude. Every analytical point is, I mean, and I get it, man. There's people that aren't executing. I understand there's that frustration, but that falls on you to an extent too. Like, you got to be able to see that and notice that, and you should have put things in place to try to expose those leaks sooner rather than later. But, you know, kind of beat a dead horse. I don't like to get down this rabbit hole. Tonight, Wednesday, tonight we'll have more of a, I would say, I don't want to say negative. This is negative, but people kind of think that I kind of ride this thing like, woo, yo, yeehaw. Look, come Wednesday night when I preview the game, I'm going to have that optimistic, positive side of looking at like, hey, this is a game thing, taking the politics out of it for now, and let's go win this football game. We've got a Texas content creator coming on. She's fantastic. So excited to get her perspective on it as well. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm good. Good to go.
Oh.
I know it's bananas. Everybody's saying nanas. I know it's that's what my daughter calls it. Okay.
Let the kid live. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Playoff crashers. Playoffs. This is the chances right now, currently, of teams to make the playoffs. But the question for us today that I wrote, that I raised for Cody was, look at Memphis at the 34%. Memphis has a better chance than Tennessee and LSU and Penn State. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that could be a playoff crasher.
When you're the best in the American Conference, I mean, they're going to get their spot.
Yeah, I guess they would take UNLV's spot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look. He is. I'm at the same school, but Will is my dog. He coaches JV. Tell Will he still owes us a paint up.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Darren. All right, so what is the team then that you think crashes this playoffs? Last year, I think you could argue it was Boise, and even Clemson to an extent. I know Clemson doesn't really fit the playoff crasher mold, but because of how they got in and the way they got in, they crashed it for a few. They kept Bam out, so I would say they crashed the playoffs, in my opinion. Who do you think crashes this year, big guy?
Let me go Mizzou. I think they're a pretty complete football team. I know they are not as depth heavy as a lot of these other teams. The Oklahoma thing without John Mateer really scares me. I saw Hawkins last year and it was not it. Okay, it was not.
Who did you say? Who did you say?
Mizzou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably take Mizzou and flop them with one of the SEC schools.
Bleed Orange and Green says USF. I think their loss to Miami is going to hurt. I don't know, because UNLV doesn't play anybody else that's going to slow them down, and I don't believe Memphis does either. If you want to pull their schedule up really quick while I rip this off. Anthony says, why does Alabama have a higher chance than Miami? Well, it's only 2%, but I really think that this game this weekend is going to determine that for Miami personally, because of the way the SEC is aligned, the ACC is aligned. Miami's got to win the ACC, and they lose this weekend, then that puts them behind the 8 ball. And I think that's why I think Alabama can probably lose another game and still likely get in, where Miami may be on the outside looking in. That's the only thing I can think of, to be quite honest with you. And I think this predictor feels that Georgia game for Alabama was probably their biggest matchup, and they overcame that hump, and that's probably what it is. But go ahead.
USF they will. I mean, they're going to find out their fate when they play Memphis, and Memphis still has to drop one. I'm looking at Memphis right now. Memphis is the only team that really they're expected to probably struggle.
So so USF would be good, because if they can go through and beat Memphis and go win the AAC, then even with the one loss to a Miami team who could be possibly undefeated, is a much better than a winless or an undefeated UNLV team, personally. So yeah, I like that pick a lot. And again, Texas Tech is what I mean. Vandy is a great one. I mean, it's super early right now because I haven't really played anybody, but this weekend we'll be able to tell. I think Texas Tech, in my opinion, is going to be the playoff crasher. And it's not I would say the sexiest playoff crasher personally, but I like USF and Texas Tech. I think those are, and they're not even on this list right now.
They still got to play Navy. Too. Navy hasn't dropped one yet either.
USF does.
USF and Memphis. So there's it's kind of a crapshoot. It's between Navy, USF, and Memphis right now. I think they just give Memphis the best odds because they look the best and they haven't dropped a game.
And they were pretty solid last year too.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look, those I think
FedEx money.
Those would be some fun teams to keep an eye on. BYU and Texas Tech. Those could be your kind of Iowa State and Arizona State teams of this year for that Big 12. Again, only one Big 12 team made it, and that's why I'm saying that I would say if Texas Tech was to make it, then they would be a playoff crasher, just because I think the Big 12 doesn't get enough love, and it's hard for them to kind of bust through. All right, boys, do we want to go ahead?
That Big 12 is going to come right down to the Big 12 playoff game, and
championship.
No,
game,
Kansas dropped. Yeah, the championship game, and I know Kansas dropped one, but I'm still high on Kansas.
All right, so for anybody that's been watching since the beginning, I messaged Jake Crane, who's obviously a big Auburn guy. Said, "Is this Hugh Free Smoke? Got some legs?" He said yes.
Just a yes.
Just yes.
Wonder why.
I think I think we nailed it on the head. I think just I don't know. You wonder. It could be a Dan Mullen situation.
Could we be getting in a bidding war with Auburn for a coach?
Could that be it too? Maybe Auburn sees like this thing's not getting any better, and we got to move while we can.
Yeah. I think there's real feelers out there. Listen, and for everybody saying that, oh, his daughter made a video of him not leaving Ole Miss for Auburn.
I don't buy any of that crap. I don't buy any of that crap.
No, but she's a senior. It doesn't matter. She's a senior. She's graduating this year. So it's done over. She gone. So I know I've seen people on Twitter say that, oh, look at she made a video. He's not going anywhere. I think this could be a bidding war for Florida Auburn, and I don't know how that turns out.
This is the comment of the day. Look at this. Look at this. Accusing Lane of using coke. How low can you go? The internet never seems to amaze me. I don't know if he was talking about us.
He's probably just on a little Adderall.
I love it.
My favorite comment from today was, "You built a great show around a shitty program."
Oh, someone said that?
Yeah, about us.
Oh, that's good. Where was it?
It's up here.
Oh, it's in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, we appreciate it. I mean, listen, we talk everything. It's not just,
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 5 months off the back of a national championship.
Could we see Billy Napier, Hugh Freeze, and Brian Kelly all fired at the same time? God, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't want to get.
I mean, they all came in together. That's that coaching class.
I really wonder, but again, go back to the Hugh thing. If there's more of a Mullen situation in the sense that he's not liked in the front office, so there's obviously a little bit of probably tension, and then he's not winning either, and so it's like we're just like where someone else may get a little more leeway, because again, like I think you nailed it on the head. Like, I mean, what are they? They 3-2, 2-2.
Looking.
And they lost. They dropped a close one to A&M. I mean, it's not like they're getting blown out. Yeah, they're 3-2.
Yeah, they're 3-2
with Georgia in 2 weeks.
Oklahoma, close one to Oklahoma, and a close one to Texas A&M. They only scored 10 points and 17 points. Oh,
I mean, it hasn't looked promising. It hasn't looked promising. I get it, right?
He's missed on some on some quarterbacks too. I mean, he has grabbed quarterbacks and they have flailed.
Huh.
Could Auburn, with a better record than us, fire Hugh Freeze before we fire Billy Napier? Listen, if you're not liked by the Auburn boosters, they will oust you. We saw it. We saw it with a guy that was winning.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like how much control certain organizations, like who has the control over what.
The boosters run that program, sure.
I found the Oregon fan. Yeah, that wasn't hard to do. So I mean, I listen. There's some soft Oregon fans. I'll tell you what, but in the same breath, I think there's some cool ones too. But they're definitely not prepared for the SEC drama. Like Derek is a special breed. But I've seen a lot of them get just when we were running the show quite often. Just the comments, man. You guys are a bunch of, you know what. Last little bit here, and we'll wrap up today's show. Good little show, Cody. What do you think? You guys enjoying this Wednesday show? You guys enjoying the morning shows? The feedback is much appreciated. Let me see here, Darian. So we're gonna come on the show and chat with you on the goat himself, the one and only Mr. Stephen Harris. I mean, this guy doesn't no dinner or nothing. He's just straight to the jugular. I love it.
I like it.
I love it.
I like it.
Hit me up on Twitter, Darian. Let's see what we can figure out. I don't know if I could. I mean, Mr. Harris. That's. We don't just sit down with a chance. Maybe you can sit with Cody.
I'm close enough.
Yeah. SEC. Right now, the standings for the SEC are just not what you would expect. Are you ready for this, Cody? Top to bottom.
Sling it.
Ole Miss, Mizzou, Vandy. Your top three leaders right now in the SEC, boys. Followed by Oklahoma, A&M, Alabama, LSU. And then after that, everyone has a loss. Texas hasn't played any conference games, so they're kind of looming in the middle. But there's only 5 teams, Texas, I guess you can include 6, that are undefeated so far in SEC play. Like it's already becoming a bloodbath. And Ole Miss is 3-0. They've played the most conference play. Like they've already halfway through their conference schedule. And outside of Georgia, man, it looks really good for them that have an opportunity to get it done. I like me personally, A&M, to play in the SEC championship this year. I don't know if I can pick them to win it. It feels like right now Alabama's going to take this thing. Because Oklahoma I would have picked 2 weeks ago. The Napier situation, like you said, throws me off. It looks like he could be back for the Red River rivalry, which would be huge. I don't think they would even need him to get through that game. I'll know more this Saturday for Texas. If they can get through that and win, then I'm going back to Oklahoma, I think would be my pick. But A&M is just, I don't know. They're playing good football right now. I like the way they look.
Yeah, the Vandy thing we're gonna know right this weekend. We'll know if they're the real deal. It's tough. Not sold on Texas A&M. I kind of, if Napier can come back for the Red River and be ready to go, give me Oklahoma. I think that they can squeak by one game. I think they can lean on that defense, and they can squeak one by.
Yeah, because they've got Kent State.
They got Kent State. Yeah.
Then Texas in 2 weeks, and then he'll probably be back for South Carolina, and I think they could probably even squeak through that game if they wanted to. And then they have, oh my gosh, then they have Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Mizzou, and LSU. I mean,
gotta have them back for that.
If you get through that and you make the SEC championship, I mean, you've played the heart of the SEC at that point. I mean, you've played everybody. That's outside of A&M. That's kind of your upper echelon at the moment.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. It's a wild time in the SEC. That's been ran by, the likes of LSU, Bama, and Georgia. LSU's kind of totes so-so, but I would they were a team that's been in there the last couple of years. Texas obviously made it last year. I wouldn't say they've been a face of it just because they haven't got it done, but last year was their first year, so it's hard to say they've been. But it's been the Alabama-Georgia show, and I think that could be over.
Number one team in the SEC right now? Alabama, probably, the way they look this weekend. That's so tough. Ole Miss looks darn good, but you don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard for me because defensively,
LSU's beatable. LSU's really beatable.
I can't put that much stock into them right now. It's still Oklahoma for me.
If John Napier comes back and looks like, he could come back and look terrible.
But they can get through these without him.
know if they're going to be able to beat
Look,
Texas
it's hard for
without
me
him.
to put Ole Miss on that pedestal because, again, I'm not sold on LSU. So even though it's a great win, I'm not taking anything away from LSU, Ole Miss.
Who's sold on Alabama more than LSU?
I'm sold on Alabama more than Ole Miss.
Oof.
Right now.
Wow.
I just look. I mean, I'm willing to change.
Isn't it wild? Ole Miss and Vandy look the most consistent. Where have we got? What is this? What's that show? There's a show like in the 90s. What world are we living in? It was just like a new show every day. It was like a new series every day. It was like how the world was like opposite of what it was supposed to be.
I don't know.
Dude, we live Twilight Zone. This is a freaking Twilight Zone, bro.
Yeah.
Like Vandy and Ole Miss are cream of the crop right now, most consistent in what they. Oh, there's a lot of people saying Ole Miss right now. Number one, clear number one.
I mean, look, I think if you go based
Winning
off
with their backup quarterback at that.
Good point. I feel like I don't look at him like a backup quarterback.
I don't.
I mean, I get it, but I just don't. I don't. He doesn't feel like a backup to me.
Almost like a DJ Lagway last year. Feels the same.
No, much better than last year. Much better.
You didn't. I know. I'm saying you didn't view DJ as a backup quarterback.
No, I did. This kid's experience, because it's like his third year. Like it would be like if Harrison Bailey came in and then just kind of found his way. They were the backup, but it's not like. I mean, he's a backup, but he just looks so good. It's like you're no longer a backup in my eyes. Like you're not like
he's played a lot of D2 ball.
Like when Will Hammond stepped in for Texas Tech, I'm like, yeah, this is the backup, but no, you're probably the starter now, dude. Like you could be.
Yeah.
It's like.
Oh, Austin Simmons. I don't think when healthy takes the reins back.
Because again, in my opinion, I think both of those guys came in with probably the same experience and the same opportunities. Like that was my thing. Is like Austin Simmons had a lot more credibility coming out of high school, which made him more appealing.
Yeah.
But this kid Trinidad has been in the league for a minute, and I think that plays a huge factor nowadays. Hey, Sheldon, if Oregon wins it all, makes 3 years of the Big Ten winning the 3 years of the Big Ten winning the title. Does that give them the top spot for the best conference? I would have to say yeah.
No.
I would say yeah.
SEC dominated college football for how many years?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean. I mean, so okay, so
I mean,
the New England Patriots dominated the NFL for 2 decades.
Okay.
So are they the best right now?
No.
Like eventually that goes away. Like you just can't live off the fact of, hey, what I did 4 years ago carries over. Like our SEC's dynasty of running college football is not matched. No. But as for the best conference all around right now, especially with the 12-team play winning, if they go win
it's not the deepest. It's not the deepest conference. It's very top heavy.
That people would argue that for the SEC for over that time that they had the run too. So I disagree with you. I agree with what you're saying. I still think top to bottom the SEC is a probably more sound conference, but all that matters is winning. Like if your conference is so good that it beats you. I mean, I wouldn't say the Chiefs conference is the best conference.
Okay. But hold on. Who's elite in the Big Ten?
Right now, or just in general, or like
just right now? What's elite? What's the elite programs of the Big Ten?
I mean, Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
That's it. Indiana's not an elite program. Indiana gets smoked by. If they play that, dude, they play nobodies. They play nobodies all year.
They're making playoffs.
Okay, but when you make that's fine. Boise made a playoff last year. Doesn't mean they're an elite program. They're not elite. Not even close to elite. Am I wrong, guys? Or do I just have SEC bias? Ohio State, Oregon. That's all they got. That's it.
son's having a freaking breakdown. I'm like, what are we doing? It's like, did you hear him?
No. Ohio State and Oregon are it. Okay. That's it. That's top. Like if you stuck those teams in the SEC, they would be pretty good.
I mean,
and the only reason that if Oregon was been in the Pac-12 the last 10, 15 years, they wouldn't even have Oregon if they didn't expand. So they would have Ohio State.
I mean, Michigan's 2 years off of a national championship. So if you're going to just go off of like this year, you can't say that Indiana's not elite then, because they're undefeated. They've dominated the team that they have been matched up against. They've looked really good.
They haven't had Florida's schedule though.
Yeah, nobody has.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, they're not like they're playing Northwestern and
again,
like
Vandy. Look,
Vandy is good. Vandy's good.
Yeah, that's crazy. If you're gonna, Vandy's schedule is easier than Indiana's so far. So if you're gonna say Vandy is good and Indiana's not, then you're being 100% biased in this. You're not looking at it from crystal clear eyes. You're just not. And look, I'm an SEC guy with you, but
I don't think the Big Ten's as deep as the SEC.
But if a Big Ten team wins the national championship again, that would mean they would match up against an SEC team, maybe one or two of them. They did last year, and we lost. We didn't even make the SEC didn't make the championship. Didn't even make the championship, Cody. So if our thing is so battle tested and so tough, and we get 3 and 4 teams in there and none of them make it, what does it matter how hard it is from top to bottom? Maybe I'd rather have 2 elite to get you all the way to the end.
So two championships erase.
That's not what we're asking. You're not arguing this well. That dynasty that the SEC had is great. So what do they got to win? 16 in a row to be considered the best again? No. Who's the best team? Who's the best program in college football right now? It's not Alabama. They won 6 out of 10 years. It's not Georgia.
I don't know who it is.
Okay, you just can't go off of the past. You got to look at the current state of the program. If they go when Michigan won, hell of a Final Four, took down a Nick Saban Alabama team, and took down a raging Washington team, like one of the best Washington football teams we've seen in quite. I mean, those are some of the best football teams we've seen. The following year, you go to a Big 12, you go to a 12-team playoff, the most playoff teams you've ever been, the hardest road any team would have to face because you have more playoff games than you've ever had. And not only are you with that, you're dealing with on the road things like that. Tennessee or Ohio State beat Tennessee, Oregon, and Notre Dame to get there. No team the SEC ever had to face to get to that point, ever. And I'm not saying that wiped it away. But if another Big Ten team does it again for the 3rd year in a row, yeah, it has more weight in my opinion. Because the path to the playoffs is much harder than it's ever been. Because the times that we won, 1 year, bro, was LSU Alabama. They were selected to play in the national championship game. They didn't even have to play to get there. Alabama loses to LSU in the regular season and still gets placed in the championship game where Alabama goes on to win. I hear you that we've dominated it for quite some time. If you lose 3 years in a row, I got questions. And you don't even make it last year? They haven't made it in 3 years. 3 years the SEC has not been seen in the national championship game. 3 years. And I've had a team right there to get there. They've lost. Just because your bottom half is better than someone else's bottom half doesn't mean that your conference is the best. You still need, because that's what the Big 12 argues. The Big 12, in my opinion, from top to bottom is really good. They don't have any elite guys. That's why we don't respect the Big 12.
They don't play defense either. They don't play defense.
Well, they don't. I mean, it's just the way the conference rolls.
But okay, so when you're saying is the best conference, I would have to say from top to bottom, the SEC is the best conference.
Competitive conference, yes.
I would say competitively, SEC, Big 12, Big 10.
I agree with that.
They do have 2 high-powered programs in the Big 10, and Michigan that figures out a way every now and then to be good. But if you remove Ohio State, they have nobody. They're not sending anybody.
So Anthony says he agrees with both the SEC and Big 10 are very top-heavy, and the Big 12 is the deepest conference. Look, I think the SEC is the deepest conference.
Cheated thing. I don't claim that Michigan cheated thing either. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I don't do that.
They just got caught.
So here's again. I think Big 12 is the deepest in their arena. When you take all their teams and put them together, they're deep. But if you were to take their teams and spread them out, or it's deep because the quality of play from top to bottom is like this. But if you take that chunk and you move it into another conference, it's much lower. If that makes sense, because they don't have a top heavy opponent.
Yes.
Like if Mississippi State was to go over there, they would be part of the top echelon of the Big 12, in my opinion. I don't think the SEC is top heavy.
I don't think it's top heavy. I think it's
I think it
middle
was.
of the road.
I think so. I think when they went on their run, it was extremely top heavy. Florida kicked it off in the early or mid 2008s, right? And then Bama took that over, and then it was just kind of just Bama like an LSU that were kind of your dogs. They were we want to say the Big Ten's not good when the SEC was at its premiere. Kentucky, Tennessee, Vandy, Ole Miss, Arkansas had some years, like a year or two, they were good. Mississippi State, all
Missouri
sucked. Missouri, ass. They had some good years. A&M wasn't that good.
So top heavy.
So but we consider the SEC great. Why?
They want it all.
Gotta get them ring, baby.
It's tough. It's tough. I think the SEC is the most competitive depth conference out there, though. Week to week. And I
don't disagree with that statement. I think it's hard to claim them as the best conference.
Well, it's just
you got to win
football.
championships.
We just saw the two of the premier programs, Oregon and Penn State.
Let's put it this way:
slug it out, and it was boring.
Florida goes 8-4. Okay, so they finish out 8-4. Are they the best team in the country?
No.
Why not? Their schedule's hard, Cody. They play all the best teams. Their schedule's harder than Miami. Why aren't they better than Miami?
They're the best. They're the best team in the nation because they have Billy Napier head coach.
No. That's not what. No. They're 8-4 because that's what you're telling me, that it's okay to go 8-4 because your schedule's tough.
It's tough to see. It's tough to see because not everybody plays the same strength of schedule.
No. I got you in the corner. You see how I did that? Yeah.
No.
Because that's what you're arguing. Because winning championships was what determines who is the best. And what you're saying is like, well, our schedule's really tough, so we get leeway. We do get the leeway. You know how we get it? We're able to go. We're able to lose 3 and 4. What's that? Area code says yeah. I mean, okay. All right, we're good. Area code says yes.
Depends who the losses are. Okay, but depends who the losses are too.
No, Cody. No. What are we doing? You're trying to argue an 8-4 team is the best team in the country because of their schedule. Stop it. The 8-4 schedule allows for them to have leeway to get them into a playoff. Where if a Miami went 8-4, they wouldn't even be ranked. If Florida goes 8-4, 9-3, they're in the playoffs. Right?
But who do they play?
Because their schedule is so tough. That is the benefit. But at that point, when you make the playoffs, what's that?
But who do they play?
Who?
They play all SEC teams.
I'm not disagreeing with you with the competitiveness of the SEC. I already gave you that. You're arguing two different things. Yes, the competitiveness of the SEC is good. There's another caveat to that, is that we are saying, well, hey, Florida plays 8 of the top 25 teams. And this is where a lot of the opposing sides argues, is that like, okay, well, how the AP poll means absolute crap. So
they didn't even watch the games.
Okay,
obviously.
so is the SEC that good, or is people just have that natural bias that the SEC is always dominated, so they get a little more leeway? obviously you can watch football and say that, hey, that it's better. Yes, I get it.
Air quality, I think.
My point of it is, though, the SEC gets the benefit of the doubt by playing in a tougher schedule because they're able to get 3 and 4 teams. The Big 12 got one team in last year with 2 great records. One team. Now, if they go off and win, I don't think they're the best conference, no, but not by any stretch. But if the Big Ten does it again, not to mention the Big Ten does it again with a different team, what are we talking about? It's almost better because when SEC was winning it was just one team really carrying the load. What's the number then? 4 years in a row?
5 years.
That's crazy.
5 years in a row, baby.
That's crazy.
I
don't even think the SEC didn't even do that because Clemson poked in there a couple of times.
It's tough. It's tough to figure out. There's so many.
This pod's getting through his drive. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. What's up?
There's so many semantics that you could pull up on why it makes.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Cody's brain is melting.
Yeah.
You just always got to you just got to break it down to like see examples of like. Again, I'm a big SEC guy. I love them. I love it to death, and I think that they're good. But you can't sit here and. The reason why, again, in the same breath that, hey, the 12 team, in my opinion, argues that it's much harder to win a championship than it was a year prior. Well, yes and no, because your chances of having an opportunity to play are higher, but then also the road to get there has increased of difficulty as well too, because you've got to play really good football for a longer period of time. But in that same breath, the 12-team playoff, because again of the parity. Again, I think it makes you have more. The SEC has more opportunities to win it now too, and we're still losing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different, conversations you could have. Like if the Buckeyes play the SEC schedule or Oregon play the SEC schedule, they wouldn't even make it. Yeah, I get that, but they don't. So that's what we got. No, I think Shelton probably won on that one. So.
Okay, so hold on, and look, guys,
it's just it's just tough to watch. It's a tough brand of football to watch. I don't necessarily enjoy it. It's boring. You had your 2 juggernauts, Penn State and Oregon, and during a whiteout game. That game was a snooze fest. That game didn't hold a candle to Alabama, Georgia. I mean, they were out there hitting. I mean, there were. I mean, players were flying around. Alabama throws it to the offensive tackle on a screen. Like, Big Ten is just so boring to watch. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's just not my brand of football. I don't enjoy watching it. I live in Big Ten country. I hate their football. It's boring.
All these arguments are true. I'm not disagreeing with all of those. But yeah, look, but the Buckeyes beat the number 1 team in the country from the SEC at the time they played them. Do I think that Ohio State, when you say they wouldn't survive, yeah, they'd probably lose a game or 2. Maybe 3.
They beat Arch Manning and Texas. Like, that's not
okay. But
look,
to his
hype.
But to his point, though,
Florida was supposed to be a juggernaut too.
Hold on, what you're determining your argument on is based on how many SEC teams are ranked, and so you can't use that to your argument and then disown it when they have the Texas number 1. Like,
well, a little tougher week 1 though.
That's irrelevant.
Nobody has.
You
a
can
clue.
say it's tough.
Nobody
week 6. It's tough, right? No one has a clue right now, Cody.
No,
we just agreed that the AP poll was ass. We just agreed.
The AP poll's always ass because they don't watch the games. They shoot it out on Sunday.
So the only thing that we're saying, hey, we watch the games. The games are better. But when it comes head to head, that to me is what matters most. The SEC has not bode well at head to head matchups in the last 4 years. That's a fact.
I don't take week 1 preseason rankings.
That's fine. I hear. Okay, so then you can't take it at all. Then you can't take it until I would say week 10 rankings at all. And so the only thing that we're justifying that the SEC is better than the Big Ten then is by personal bias and how we feel the games are played and what we think is right. Because you have to eliminate all rankings. If you eliminated all, you just told me that Vandy's better than Indiana. Based on what? Their schedule? They're identical at this very moment. What if Indiana's at least played a ranked team and dominated? Made them look like fools. So it's hard to argue. Look, I'm an SEC homer with the rest of them, but there's one Kool-Aid I'm not drinking, and it's that one, because I do think I think there's the ACC nonsense is kind of crazy. I feel like that brand of football has fallen, in my opinion, but I do think that Miami and a few others are playing really good ball right now. Yeah, the college football playoff poll doesn't come out until week like 10 or 11 because it takes that long to truly
I guess
figure
that's
out.
the only one that matters.
Yeah, it does. Healthy argument, though. This is a good conversation. I don't think that, because competitively, I think in that world, I think the Big 12 is very competitive. What's causing the Big 10 to be, we have such a negative light on it, is they have what we used to have is a bunch of Andes, like Rutgers, Northwestern. Like, none of those teams even care about football.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, they care, but they're just
They're all terrible.
They're in shambles right now.
Iowa.
We still going, boys? I mean, listen, we're having a good time. Cody and Shelton, how is the SEC not top heavy when their middle tier and bottom tiers are not consistently winning 8 or 9 games?
Well,
I think the Big 12 is the same way. I mean, the conferences they got to play each other. So
yeah.
I mean it's going to get even worse when they're playing 9. They got to beat each other. Let me see. All right, let's do this real quick.
I'm not shaving my head, Callie. Go get a fade. I'm not shaving. I'm not 5. I'm not shaving my head. I could care less if we beat Texas at this point. We probably will because Arch Manning's terrible.
All right, so last year the ACC had SMU went 11-3, Clemson went 10-4, Miami 10-3, Syracuse 10-3, Louisville 9-4, Duke 9-4, and Georgia Tech 7-6. So there's 6 teams that won 9 or more games. The Big 12 was worse. Big 12 11-3, 11-2, 11-3, 9-4, 8-5, 9-4, 8-5, 9-4, then 6-7. So they're right there actually. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that won 9. 10 if you count 8. The Big 10 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams went 8 or more in there. And then the SEC, this is last year, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 teams also win 8 or more games. The SEC. So that's not top heavy because they're,
no.
If anything, I mean, it's right.
Cannibalizing
The Big Ten is top heavy, which I did not disagree with. I did not disagree with at all.
Christian Young with the quote of the day. This felt like Cody lives in Big Ten country and is tired of hearing about the Big Ten. Yeah, that's kind of it too.
Look, I mean, it's all great conversations. Great.
It's all the time. All I hear about is because I'm an SEC guy, like SEC bias and you guys suck and Big Ten's won it two years in a row. Like, yeah, you guys won it 2 years in a row.
I wasn't ready
Big
to give
deal.
it to them last year. If they go through it and win it again, I mean, what do you want me to do?
A lot of football left.
Again, I think the conferences are a really good place that you're going to have. I mean, they all seem, none of that, what we just looked at, none of them really seem top heavy like they used to.
Well, the SEC would be the less top heavy out of the bunch.
Let's go to the year prior to that. Let's just kind of play a game here. Year prior to that, when Florida State went 13-1, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that won 8 or more games, which isn't very good. The Big 12, which still had Texas, had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that won 8 or more. The Big 10 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that won. Again, the Pac-12 was separate. And the SEC had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. I mean, that won 8 or more. It's identical.
Same.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the reason I do love the Big 12 is that it because the bowl games lost value, so those matchups didn't mean anything. The SEC didn't do well when it mattered most. We didn't do well week 1. Bama loses to FSU. Who else lost?
Texas.
LSU beat Clemson. That was huge.
Texas
lost. So when toe to toe, we haven't looked good. But anyways, great show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys later on tonight, live 8:35 for the big one. Y'all be good. Have a happy Wednesday. Stay safe. Music went. That's the problem, Shelton. Until next time, boys. Peace and love, baby.